Good morning, everyone. It is so exciting to be here. My name is Indira Malladi. I'm the Senior Manager for R&D with Curio Digital Therapeutics. We're a New Jersey-based startup that develops AI-driven predictive analytics platforms and digital health solutions to support women's behavioral health across the life cycle. A couple of things that I'll be talking about today. We're going to talk a little bit about the maternal mental health burden. And we're going to talk about how Curio is driving quality performance improvements by leveraging AI predictive analytics platforms and self-guided cognitive behavioral therapy programs, or CBT for short. So today, in this country, 1 in 4 postpartum deaths are attributed to mental health conditions. I'll say that again. 1 in 4, almost 25%, of postpartum deaths are attributed to mental health conditions. Completely preventable. In fact, it's so bad that March of Dimes has given the US as a whole a D+ for its poor maternity care. And there's a variety of reasons for it. We've seen some of them before. Screening rates are very low. OBGYNs, those are obstetricians and gynecologists, report screening routinely only about 1/3 of the time. We know that access remains a major barrier due to time, cost, stigma, maternal care deserts, mental health provider shortages, and of course BIPOC populations are also at increased rate of maternal mental health conditions. With this in mind, it seems like we expect OBGYNs to become mental health specialists, and this is not their core competency. At the same time, health plans, which are our target consumer, they want to do the right thing, but they can't because they're facing a claims lag. They don't know that women are pregnant until after they have already delivered. So this is where Curio comes in. Curio offers AI-driven, targeted, predictive analytics to identify who is currently pregnant and risk stratify them. Beyond that, we're also offering self-guided, digital-forward, evidence-based cognitive behavioral therapy programs to support women through that period. So with Curio, what we're doing is identifying, we're risk stratifying, and we're managing women through that perinatal period and driving quality improvement. So not only are we identifying and risk stratifying, we're also engaging them with this self-guided cognitive behavioral therapy, and we're driving quality improvement through those programs. What we've seen is we're also improving outcomes. About 70% of our users have seen a clinically meaningful improvement in depression symptoms, and that is just with the self-guided cognitive behavioral therapy program alone. So that's without any therapists or coaches or any human touch. They are able to actually have 70% of users have a clinically meaningful improvement in depression symptoms. I want to highlight here that really what our value is we're able to identify and tell you something about your population that you wouldn't otherwise know. So how do we continue to engage these women? A couple of strategies that we have here. We have gamification. The cognitive behavioral therapy that we're delivering is delivered in a gamified format, so exercises are interactive and fun and engaging, delivered in a variety of modalities. We also, one of those modalities is augmented reality, and mixed reality exercises, so members are able to practice what they've learned in a quote-unquote real-world environment. They can also earn points, which they can redeem for real-world or digital rewards, and they earn those points for completing the cognitive behavioral therapy exercises in their self-guided CBT program. And of course, we have our nudge architecture, which delivers personalized nudges to encourage members to keep on track with their well-being goals. Now, we know that not all pregnancies end well, unfortunately. So we have a variety of alternative specialty programs that members can also navigate to should they need it. Those include intimate partner violence, bereavement, returning to work, transitioning into that returning to work period, opioid use, substance use disorder as well. So these programs are also all available. They're also coupled with health coaching, so members can access asynchronous chat messaging as well as live sessions with a health coach. Curio's self-guided CBT programs are amongst the most well-studied self-guided CBT programs. We've done 6 RCTs covering about 2,500 women, and as I mentioned earlier, we've seen that about 70% of our users are seeing clinically meaningful improvements in their depression and anxiety symptoms. But really, the value here is in the predictive tool. It's with the predictive tool that we're able to identify, risk stratify, and then intervene early. It's by intervening early that we're able to actually avoid 2 out of 3 postpartum depression cases. So again, we're able to identify who's pregnant, we're able to risk stratify them, intervene early with self-guided CBT, and by doing this, we're able to avoid 2 out of 3 postpartum depression cases. These self-guided programs are also available 24/7, so women are able to access this virtual care from the comfort of their own home in a stigma-free environment at whatever hours are convenient for them. So Curio is driving quality improvement in a number of key areas. I'll talk about a few of them here. So prenatal care, timeliness of prenatal care, as well as timeliness of postpartum care. Curio is able to facilitate, encourage, and educate patients and assist them in scheduling their prenatal, postnatal appointments. Screenings, all of our self-guided cognitive behavioral therapy programs come with embedded clinically validated screeners, so we're able to screen for depression, intimate partner violence, opioid use and substance use disorder, and then refer to the appropriate level of care. And then follow up on positive screens. So our programs actually also include a clinical escalation logistics algorithm, so that should a member experience a worsening of symptoms, we're able to escalate them rapidly to the next level of care. So I want to reiterate the flow here, really. So what we're doing with the way that we're improving quality performance is by identifying women early using the predictive algorithm. We're risk stratifying them and we're intervening earlier. So rather than intervening after they have already delivered, we are intervening while they are still pregnant with self-guided cognitive behavioral therapy programs. These self-guided cognitive behavioral therapy programs are available in a variety of modalities so that women feel engaged, they're able to access it, and there are fewer barriers than traditional face-to-face CBT. And it's through this that we're able to actually identify, actually determine a 5-to-1 ROI by reducing the direct costs that women would be incurring if they were doing alternative treatments. So for example, alternatively, women would be using different types of medications, they would be showing up in your ED, they would be seeing different doctors. Alternatively, they're able to use our platform, we identify them early, we risk stratify them, and we refer them to the appropriate level of care. So I'll stop there and I'll take questions.
That identifies women who might be pregnant. Presumably it's doing that without a pregnancy test or information on menstrual periods, so I was curious as to what that's based on. And then I'm also curious, when you do identify a woman who you think is likely to be pregnant, what does the communication to that woman look like?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So the first question, the algorithm is black box, so I won't discuss too much about it, but we do not, confirming what you're saying, we don't require a pregnancy test to determine that they're pregnant, and we are able to identify that they're pregnant prior to a health plan, for example, receiving the claim for a delivery. To your second question, we approach that with great care and awareness that women should not be told that they are going to develop postpartum depression or that they are at an increased rate. This is an option that is available to them should they choose to take it, and we don't notify them that they are going to develop postpartum depression or anything of that matter.
2 questions. One, as you correctly identified early on, postpartum depression is much more common in women of color and so on. And your algorithm is a black box. How, without going into agonizing detail, how are you sure that your algorithm doesn't have unintended bias? And what's your control for BIPOC and so on to make sure that the algorithm is working across the board? And then the second question is, I would assume that maybe your customers are the payers who use your algorithm. Most of them have broader population algorithms that already have what you do embedded in them, so what do you offer that goes beyond that? A lot of questions.
So I think the first question, how are we certain that we're not introducing bias, right? So our algorithm is continuously learning. We've tested it on about 25 million lives so far, with a large data set from a payer. And we validated it in a different data set as well. In addition to that, as we continue to use it, the algorithm continues to learn, and improvements we can continue to make across the algorithm as we use it. Your second question around, could you repeat your second question, actually?
Yeah, your customer is going to be payers, I would think.
Oh, yeah.
And who manage, thank you. Thank you very much. Payers and people who manage large populations, most of them already have population predictive analytics that includes things that address pregnant women and so on. What does yours offer? What's your business case? What do you offer that goes beyond what's already out there in broader population predictive analytics?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So while health plans may be able to identify who needs to receive some prenatal care or some postpartum care, they've not had success with actually outreaching and connecting with at-risk populations. So for example, these populations may be missing email addresses or locations or phone numbers. They may be difficult to track down, and they're difficult to engage and retain in a program. That's where we excel. We excel in retaining members on the platform, engaging them with multiple modalities, and reaching them where it's accessible to them. In addition to that, our predictive analytics platform is flexible, and we're able to actually, we have a number of predictive algorithms beyond just the postpartum depression. And because of our architecture of our platform, we're able to rapidly develop additional programs. So you saw a few of them listed here. There were among them bereavement, OUD and SUD, returning to work. Those are a few of our specialty programs. We're able to rapidly change our rapidly change our programs based on a health plan's needs, so that we can complement their offering and better support their population.
Thank you. Very, very interesting presentation. A quick question. Do you know, or have you analyzed how much Curio actually complements or can be substituted to actually a drug? Like, for example, one from Biogen, or actually is exactly focusing on the same topic?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a great question. What we have, one of the things I mentioned is that we have clinical escalation logistics. So for women who are very severe, for example, they may be advised by their provider to use our program in addition, if they are severe enough to be using something like a zuranolone, for example. But there are a number of women who do not meet the clinical threshold to use zuranolone or to use other SSRIs or SNRIs, and for them, what we have is really ideal.